Welcome to the Scaringi Law Lunch Break. This is your time of the day to learn a little bit about the law while you enjoy your lunch. Outspoken Fox News television and radio talk show host Judge Jeanine Pirro has found herself on the receiving end of a defamation lawsuit. Judge Pirro was sued by Black Lives Matter activist DeRay McKesson. Mr. McKesson claims Judge Pirro defamed her during her appearance on the Fox News talk show Fox and Friends. On the program last September, Pirro was discussing what had occurred a year earlier at a confrontation between Black Lives Matter protesters and the police, and the legal aftermath of that confrontation. According to The Hollywood Reporter, here's what happened. In response to a police shooting, McKesson led protests in the street. At some point, water bottles were thrown and someone began throwing rocks. There were injuries. When McKesson and other protesters refused to get out of the way of traffic along the highway, they were arrested. McKesson spent a night in jail. Later, he and others filed a class action lawsuit against the city and won. The case settled for $136,000. Meanwhile, one anonymous Louisiana police officer who was injured during the protest filed his own lawsuit against McKesson and the Black Lives Matter movement. That case was dismissed and is currently on appeal. Fox and Friends co-host Steve Ducey was asking Judge Shapiro about that case. Judge Shapiro said, and in this particular case, DeRay McKesson, the organizer, actually was directing the violence. But guess what? The judge said, what he was engaging in is protected speech, said Pirro. Judge Pirro also said, you've got a police officer who was injured. He was injured at the direction of DeRay McKesson. DeRay McKesson walks away with hundreds of thousands of dollars for an organization that is amorphous. We've got a problem in this country. So that's what Judge Pirro said. It's those two comments, that McKesson was actually directing the violence and that the police officer was injured at the direction of DeRay McKesson. Those are the two statements that got her sued. McKesson filed his complaint for defamation because Judge Pirro basically accused him of directing the assault on the police officer, which would be a crime, and is treated as defamation per se. You cannot accuse another person falsely of committing a crime. That's going to get you in trouble. Now, Judge Pirro and Fox News, another defendant, are defending against this defamation claim, stating the judge has the right to free speech under the First Amendment. And they've got three arguments. First, they're arguing that Pirro's comments are privileged as a fair and true report of judicial proceedings, that the judge was simply reporting on the judicial proceedings. Second, that McKesson, as a public figure, has failed to adequately prove actual malice, which is required to be proven if you are a public figure alleging you've been defamed. And third, that the challenged statements are non-defamatory, as any reasonable viewer would understand that Pirro said was her opinion concerning the outcome of the judicial proceeding. And opinions are not defamation, as we've learned from the dismissal of the Stormy Daniels defamation lawsuit against President Trump. The judge dismissed the suit, stating that President Trump has the right to give his own opinion on the sketch that was performed on the alleged man who threatened Stormy Daniels years ago. Anyway, the case against Judge Jeanine Pirro is before the court on a motion to dismiss, and we'll keep you updated as the case progresses. But be very careful what you write or say on television, on the radio, on social media, because instant communication is ubiquitous in this modern era, and people are communicating much more than they did in the past, and are communicating in ways that are recorded in exact time for all posterity to see, including potential plaintiffs, judges, and juries. Be very careful about commenting on whether another person has committed a crime. Again, accusing someone falsely of committing a crime is defamation per se, meaning that person is not required to even prove damages. The damages are presumed by the law in those cases. If you have any questions or concerns about defamation in your public speaking or public writing or commenting on social media, give me a call at 717-657-7770. That's about all the time we have today for the Scaringi Law Lunch Break. Thanks for listening and enjoy your lunch.